And we are off. Hello and welcome back to Jackbaruns. Today we've got Canterbury 10 miler. So this is actually my first ever 10 mile race. I've never completed a 10 mile race. I have an unofficial 10 mile PB of around 62 minutes. I can't quite remember before going into this race. That was set back in September at the big half in London. But today, this is the Canterbury 10 miler. So the two boys you see in front of me, we've got Liam on the left hand side, Chad in the black top, both friends from uni that I met last year. Liam is also from the same club. They are both helping me and pacing me to hopefully around a new kind of 10 mile PB. So both of them are considerably faster than I am. Liam is a 15:55k runner, never shuts up about it. So both of them are taking it fairly steady. So before going into this race, I've been injured for the last 3 or 4 months. If you followed me on Instagram, you know that I've been injured with ITB on my right leg. So I've missed that quite a lot of the cross-country season. Haven't been able to run much. So this was not just my first race of the year, but my first race in about 4 months. And I had no real expectation going into this race. I just kind of wanted to run around kind of 60 to 63 minutes. A sub 60 would be incredible, but I knew how hilly this course was. And it was the first time, because this is the new course, so it's the first time this course has been run. So no one really had any idea of how hard it would be or the times. But the plan was at the start of this race to run around 63, maybe a kind of a low 62. It's kind of where we were aiming. So we're going to set out as kind of 3:55 average for the first half of the race, then try and speed up in the second half.
He saw you! Alright, actually just blocking guy, shut up.
If you don't realise by now, I do talk a lot during this run. Probably more than I should have, but you know, going into this race, because I'd been injured, I had no real expectation.
Exactly.
Which actually helped me a lot, because it took away all the pressure and kind of expectations of running a certain time. I just went into this with my head open and decided to have a bit of fun with it, because it was the first race of the year, and I was using this as kind of a fitness base and fitness test to see where I am in the first kind of month of marathon training, after not having done any training throughout the Christmas period. Also, you just saw there on the left Mr. Stephen Wood, a fellow Cambridge Harrier, who was also kind of aiming to run the similar time. On the right there, just passing Bobby.
Right, you in the vlog. You got it. Close up to the bright car.
I absolutely love the running community. It's absolutely incredible, especially when you've met people through Instagram, TikTok, and through social media, and you get to see them in real life. And yeah, I think it's just incredible. Here we are going back past the start-finish straight before we head out into the open roads of Canterbury.
Yeah, not the loop, but we kind of come back along that path again.
That's just me talking to Stephen about the route, discussing, because everyone was still a bit unsure of the exact route. Very unpredictable, this race. The weather was also pretty much perfect for this race. I thought it would be a little bit cold because the Saturday morning was a bit chilly in the morning, and it felt quite cold when I left the house for this race, so I thought it might be fairly cold. But after I'd warmed up and after the first couple of K, which we are about to hit in about 100 meters time, you warmed up, and yeah, it was probably a perfect temperature for this race. There we go, just coming through 2K now in 3:55. So, if I must say, beautiful pacing from Chad and Liam at the front. One of the big changes I've made when it comes to racing and training is turning off my automatic splits on my watch, because I definitely stare at my watch too much when I'm on a training run or in a race. So by turning that off, it stops me having to constantly focus on my watch, and I can just focus on running, and I think that's definitely helped me. So if anyone is in a similar position where they're struggling to stop looking at their watch and getting caught up in the metrics and data, definitely useful to try and turn that off if you find yourself constantly looking at your watch as well.
Ready for the hills? Come on.
Go through the left turn, through the first downhill part of the course before we go uphill. This was probably the nicest section of the course, going downhill here. Just finished coming through the first downhill part of the course. Now for the first uphill section. I didn't want to push too hard because we're only 2.5k in, and we've still got another 13.5k to go. So took it fairly conservative going up this hill, didn't want to push too hard. You can hear there my breathing getting slightly heavy on this uphill. I did find that during most of this run my heart rate was considerably higher than it normally is for the pace I was running at, and I think it was just because of the lack of training I've done, because I haven't been running properly for a good 4 months. I think, yeah, my heart rate was just a little higher than it typically is for the kind of paces I was doing throughout this run. I think I averaged around 186, I think, when I looked at my stats afterwards. So a little high, but we still managed to push through. And there we are. That is the 2 mile mark. 3.2k in, 2 miles in, 8 miles to go.
There's a hill coming up, guys. Huh? Another hill coming up. Oh, okay. Round this corner. Another hill. It's a short, steep hill. Then it flattens out and then goes back down again. So yeah, use this part of the downhill. Give me vital information.
That's just me informing the boys about the course and where the hills were, because I drove along these roads quite often when I was at uni, so I knew exactly where kind of the downhills and uphills were. So this is the second uphill, or the big uphill of the race, which wasn't a very steep hill, but it was after, as we go through 4k, it definitely starts to feel it a little bit on the legs.
Steven's dropped off a little bit. Huh? Steven's dropped off. Oh, it's like a shoelace. Oh, what is that?
There, Stephen just dropped off, was tying his shoelace. Shoelace came undone. Schoolboy error there, schoolboy error. I think he did catch onto the back of us through this part of the course, but I think he fell off again a bit later on in the race. There we go, as we go through 5k. I think that K was definitely a lot quicker. I think it was around a 3:48 for that kilometre. But with the downhill, that definitely made it a bit easier.
Fuck off.
This part of the course was actually really nice. There wasn't much wind, which was good, but it was flat and the roads were very nice to run on, so this part of the course was definitely the most enjoyable for me, and I think a lot of people felt the same.
Yeah, that's the car park we ran past. Yeah. That's the car park that goes along Crabwinkle. Yeah. You'll see the Crabwinkle pub in a minute. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going around water.
Coming up to the first 2 of the water stations. Here, schoolboy error, drop the cup. So slowed down a little bit, run along further. And in the end, managed to grab a cup.
I missed the first one, that was horrible. I missed the first one.
It's such a nice route, actually. I mean, if you went all out, it probably wouldn't be.
There we go, just as I was talking about. Everyone quite happy with the choice of route along this stretch of the course. It was just flat and open,
The
so
next K is kind of net downhill. Towards the end of it, it goes uphill again.
again, just passing on the information to the rest of the boys that
That's
to
like
the next kind of 800 meters it goes downhill.
there's a really nice house here on the left.
Yeah.
Coming up.
It's not a house in more.
It was only built like a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fairly brand new. They bought the land and built it.
Nice shit.
Told you.
I've always said it. Just buy it, guys.
Yeah, all of us put our life savings in. I reckon we got enough.
Get down here, boys.
Just admiring the house on the left, a very nice house which was only built probably about a year ago.
Det brukar jag säga, gel after the smile.
What's that?
Det brukar jag gel after the smile. Next smile.
Yeah. I've got a gel on me, so I bought one in case of emergency. Hey, look.
Something. There you go.
But somebody didn't want to run it.
Hello.
Liam, you look beautiful on camera.
Oh, man.
Absolutely gorgeous. I'm talking way too much. I'm talking way too much. But no, I came into this race,
Yeah.
like no pressure. I've never done a 10 miler.
yeah.
First race of the year, first race in 4 months. So I'm just here to have fun. Thank you, marshals.
There, like I said before, no pressure, no time goals
this hill goes
really.
back up
I had ideas of what I wanted to run, but just going to this race with an open mind and have fun.
It's really good.
There you go, as we go through the halfway points.
Chad, we're doing a neutral split. We're doing a neutral split. We went through 31:15.
There you go, as we went through halfway in about 31:15. It was definitely a little bit quicker the first half than I'd expected to go through, but with the hills going downhill and uphill, you know, you got to use it to your advantage, so I wasn't complaining too much. So up to this point I actually felt really good. I felt in control and everything seemed to be going very well, and I reckon I could have pushed on at the second half.
Oh shit.
I didn't expect the mud coming along this inside the farm. Here we are back on our way towards the finish line, so we've gone all past the halfway point, heading back to the finish. And at this point, this is where I really started to struggle. I don't know if it was the gravel
That hill.
just taking a little bit more of the impact, making it a little bit harder to run. But for some reason, on this downhill part of the course, this is when I first started to struggle. I did start feeling a little bit of cramps in my right leg, and I don't know if that was because of the hills. So I was also making a conscious decision to hold back a little bit, just make sure my knee was alright. After having ITB syndrome, I didn't want to push it too much. We did all have reservations about this course because it was still open to the public, so we had a lot of walkers and cyclists that we had to avoid, so we thought it would be quite hard to navigate people, especially on the narrow parts of the course. But it actually was a really nice course overall, apart from the hills, of course. The hills weren't that fun.
Well, this is the worst part of this course. This is the worst part of the course.
Yeah.
There we are, just discussing the worst part of the course, because we've all ran this part of the course in training, so we knew that there was quite a steep and long hill coming up after this downhill section.
There's one time you should.
A little debate here. Who do you think's got the best running form? Mr. Liam Carr believes he's got the best running form. But, you know, let me know in the comments, who do you think's got the best running form between Liam and Chad? And here we are at the point we were all dreading of the course. We are about to head uphill. And this is where I really started to struggle. It became a massive pain cave for me. There we go, and through 6 miles. As you can hear, my breathing got really heavy at this point. I was really struggling, but still managed to push on. So we made it to the top of the course. 3:10k was my slowest split. It was around a 4:11. So it was only about 15 seconds off the average I was planning to run. And this is where Liam and Chad broke away. Liam broke away a little bit early on the incline. And then Chad, at this point, wanted to try and catch up to Liam. This was part of their plan, to take the second half of the course a little quicker and do a negative split, but I just couldn't stay with them at this point. My legs were in quite bad shape, and it's no surprise because after being injured for so long, it was definitely a hard task to try and keep up with them. As you can see there, my heart rate climbing to 190, so I was definitely towards the red zone. I think my max heart rate is around a 201, so I'm only 11 beats lower than my max heart rate, so I was definitely pushing it at this point. And there we are through 7 miles, only 3 miles to go. 5k left of this race. Chad and Liam are up there in the distance. At this point, as I came past people on that incline, this guy held onto the back of me and tried to stay with me for the rest of the second half of the race. For this race, I was also wearing the Nike Alpha Fly Freeze. My first ever time wearing them in a race. I wore them once in training beforehand. I've always been an Adidas fan, so I've had the Pro Freeze and the Pro 4s as my go-to race day shoe for anything from 10k all the way up to the marathon distance. But I absolutely loved the Alpha Fly Freeze for this race. They were incredible and definitely a consideration for Manchester Marathon. There we go, as we come up to the 13k mark with 3k to go. It was definitely a struggle and a really hard push to the finish here. And I think at this point my camera just runs out of battery. I thought I saved enough battery for the end of a finish, because I did actually manage to have a little bit of a sprint finish that I sadly didn't quite win.
Well, that was a tough one. I'm pretty sure my camera ran out of battery at the finish, so I didn't quite get any footage of me coming across the line, sadly. But 10 miles in a 6:2:45, so new PB. Oh, brand new PB. Probably a little bit faster than I should have gone. I'm hoping my knee's okay. It feels alright at the moment on this little cool down. First race of the year completed. Let's go. Here's some more.